How are we doing that? Trying to read it.
Tricky.
Slippery.
David, do you want to start us off?
What did you say about half-time, Eddie?
Yeah, I mean, we knew half-time was going to be important for us. I think first half we were, I don't need to tell you, we were well off it. Probably a little bit of tiredness from midweek, where first game in a while, and then of course very quick turnaround. But we knew it was going to be a difficult game. We knew Sheffield United were going to turn up and fight with everything they had to stay in the Premier League. They put a lot of balls in behind our back line. We struggled to deal with them, and we were lucky to come in at half-time level, and that was probably the big thing for us. It enabled us to settle down, tweak a few things, and come out with a much better performance.
When you've got a finisher like Isak and you're taking your balls, got chances. The first one in particular.
Yeah, it was a great ball from Jacob. Very tight, for being offside, but that's the beauty of the timing of his run, which was high level, but the finish, as you say, was hugely important for us in a moment where we were struggling to get a foothold in the game like we wanted to. And it was great to see Alex link with Callum at the end. The latter stages of the game were really good to see, both of them passing to each other, having that synergy and understanding with each other. So I think it's a really good day for both players.
Got Lee Ryder at the back.
That's more goals than we scored in the famous entertainer season when Newcastle United in the league. How satisfying is that for you and your team?
I think, look, when you start the season, you don't aim for that, but scoring goals is something we have to do and we want to do. I've said many times, we want to attack. We want to be known for being an attacking team. A team is always looking for opportunities to score and to excite our unbelievable supporters and play the style of football that's in keeping with the traditions of the club. So to do that is a great thing, but of course it's all about winning games. Really, it's not about scoring goals as such in terms of the number. It's about winning as many games as you can, and we've probably been too leaky the other way, although we've been free scoring. So it's certainly stuff for us to work on.
But could you say that it feels like you've got plenty of room to improve that as well, which is incredible, really.
Well, I think we've got room to improve just in terms of getting numbers back that can help us, and these players again that have had to go week in, week out, and again today, very quick turnaround in games. We couldn't really rotate the team more than we did, so it's been a big burden on those lads, but they've done incredibly well. And I think there was a bit of fatigue in that first half performance. That wasn't like us, but second half, when we had a much better feel about us, you saw the attacking quality that we do possess, and as you say, with other players to come back, I think it's exciting.
Actually, we've got Luke, George, and then Craig. Luke,
where do you think Alexander Isak sits along that kind of bracket of strikers? Is he world class as far as you're concerned?
I think he is. Yeah, I think he is. I mean, I'm not overly analysing every striker in world football, to be honest. I'm focusing very much on my team, and so I probably wouldn't be the best person qualified to give that opinion. But for me, I wouldn't. I think the biggest thing is, would I swap him with anybody else? And no, I wouldn't. When you look at his age profile and what's to come, you look at his attributes and his qualities, he's some talent.
So I guess you're going to repeat, he's not for sale. There's no chance you're even considering losing him in the summer.
No, and I think it's a shame for me and probably for Alex that you sort of understand the question and why you're asking it, but that will sort of be the main thing. I think the better he does and the more goals that he scores, I think we should just enjoy his performances, how he's playing at the moment. He's full of confidence. He looks physically in a really good place, and I just think it's a great thing to watch him play currently.
Thank you.
George.
Eddie, that's 4 wins in 6 now. I think it's 15 goals scored, 1 defeat. Can I take you back to that Man City Cup defeat? Was that kind of quite a delicate moment or a difficult moment, or had potential to be a difficult moment? But now, out of course, 10th in the table, got Wolves, West Ham. Was it really important to put on a run like this for everybody in the club and the team?
Yeah, it was a difficult moment. I struggle to sort of grade defeats. For me, every defeat feels exactly the same. Like Wednesday night felt it's difficult to describe what losing feels like, but it's just a horrible feeling, and I work as hard as I can to then not feel that again for as long as I possibly can. It's a really big driver for me, actually. But yeah, that defeat against Manchester City, I had a long time to think about it because we were on a plane to Dubai, and it was sort of lots of things going through my mind. What do we do next? Where do we take the team? How can we get our consistency back? I could go on, and that's why I praised the trip to Dubai, because I think it gave us a chance, not just me, but the players, to reset, to get distracted in a different environment, and then come back to Newcastle with a real determination to finish the season on a high.
It was important at that point to show that the season wasn't finished, that everybody was still pushing.
Well, you've got 10 games to play for Newcastle United. You know that there's no part of anybody internally that thought, well, that's our season over. It was about, right, we need to show that we're still competitive and we're still a good team and we can be successful, and all that momentum that we'll carry at the back end of this season we'll take into next. So we didn't underestimate the responsibility that brought.
Craig?
Eddie, yesterday's press conference was dominated largely by talking about player leaving, Bruno Guimaraes. When you walked in here, we were wondering about Alexander Isak. That's why well, after you walked in, where will his next club be? You answered the question on that. That's a good thing in a way, 'cause it shows that they were well, but have you had to sit down with these players, or will you sit down with these players and have that conversation with them about why they should stay here?
Yeah, I think I sort of touched on that earlier. I don't really think or want to be addressing that week in, week out. But in the same sentence, you want your players playing at their very best level consistently, showcasing their talents to the world. So it probably does go hand in hand. It's unless you're right at the top of the tree, which we're not at the moment. So I think we have work to do as a football club to maintain our drive, our ambition, which is there. I can tell everybody it's there. But the players need to feel that as well to pledge their long-term futures to the club. We have to keep the momentum very, very strong.
Okay, Scott Wilson.
Just one more on Alex. Is he a better player now than when he first came to Newcastle? And if so, what aspects do you particularly think have improved?
Without a doubt, for me, he's a much better player, and that's like we signed a very, very good player. We signed an outstanding individual, but I think just naturally from playing in the Premier League, you improve a lot. The league is so demanding. Physically, it is tough. And I think Alex will probably openly admit that if he spoke to you himself, that the league for a striker is you've got to lead the line, you've got to, especially with how we play, with what we ask our players to do, it's not easy. You can see the effort he has to put in week out. But I'd just say his all-round game has developed lots of different facets that it didn't have. But the biggest thing is I think he's confident in front of goal, and I think you've got to remember he came to us scoring, I think it was 6 goals in La Liga. So I think that confidence needed to come, and it gradually did when he started to score regularly, and now he's probably in the best moment of his career. That would be my assessment. He might tell you different, but you've asked me a question, so I have to answer it. But I just think he looks in a really good place, and I'm enjoying watching him play.
And how's Fabian?
Yeah, I think he had a bit of tightness in his hamstring. We don't think it's like a big injury from... There's not one moment where you think he's pulled his hamstring, but it was enough to make him feel uncomfortable and he couldn't fully sprint, so he had to come off.
Okay, we'll go to Dominic, then across to Aaron.
Just on Fabian, you initially got reluctant to come off. Just how did that substitution come about?
Yeah, well, we were going to make the change and he said he was fine and wanted to carry on. And then at half-time it became clear he couldn't, so that's why we made the change.
More flags displayed for Bruno during today. Bruno looked quite touched by it. Is that sort of affection and connection with support is something you almost struggle to find anywhere else?
Yeah, great. I mean, I think I say this every week, but All Flags very pleased with the display. I'm personally pleased because they're sort of showcasing their love for the players, and for me it's always about the players. And if we can build the connection between the supporters and the players and make it stronger, then I think that's hugely important. Players need to enter the pitch here feeling as good as they can to execute under high pressure what they need to, and I think that will bring the connection between the club and Bruno even stronger. I love the fact he's idolised by the supporters, and hopefully that continues.
Okay, we'll go to Martin, yeah.
Eddie, what was it you liked about Alex when you first started scouting?
his technical ability was probably the first thing that I saw. That very, very good movement for a number 9. You of course, when you're looking at strikers, you can sort of bracket your strikers into sort of what type they are. I think with Alex, it was very difficult to do that because he could do a bit of everything. Of course, his physical qualities were very good. He was lightning quick, very agile. Add that with the technical qualities, then you think we've got a hell of a player on our hands here. What he needed to add from his last season in Spain was goals. And thankfully the team's helped him do that. I think we've set a good foundation for it. But of course the challenge never stops for him. Now it's to score goals continually and to keep doing it, which at this level is very difficult.
And what's he like as a character, and how happy is he within the group?
Yeah, I think he's really happy within the group. Again, I'm speaking not knowing that 100% because it's, I'm speaking on his behalf, but he looks happy. He interacts really well with his teammates. He's got some very good friendships. He looks like he's happy when it comes to training and his work. He's actually very low maintenance. He's a quiet guy around the players, but very popular at the same time.
Aaron and then Kieran to finish.
Eddie, obviously you touched on Callum, how good at the singing back with Alex, but for him personally, how good is it the singing back? Could Schar left out to be quite interesting?
Yeah, really good. I mean, I always say when Callum comes back from injury, invariably he always does the work, and that's sometimes very difficult when you're having to do the same things again and attack a spell out and then do the rehab, and he's got to come back at such a good physical level to score goals. But he's done the work. It was slightly easier this time because it was an upper limb injury, so he's done a lot of running. I had no doubt he'd look really good. I thought he looked great today when he came on. He probably could have scored more than the one he did, but the one he did get was an incredible finish. And as I said earlier, to see him and Alex link in the way that they did and see how threatening they were on the pitch together is a great sign for us.
Tino obviously couldn't make up the bench today. He's came for night and said, where's he on?
Will be better for today. We had a meeting yesterday. He said he felt fit to play. Said he felt good. I backed him. And I thought he gave a really good performance for us.
Thanks, Aaron. Kieran to finish.
As I say, our job is to try and make him as happy as he can, give him the best opportunity to play his best football, try and create a team that he enjoys playing in, look after him off the pitch. The fact he has a great relationship with the supporters, that absolutely helps us. We'll do everything we can to try and meet his needs here. But of course, on the other stuff that you spoke about, we're sort of slightly out of control on that. Yeah, a strange feeling for me because have that strength in depth in the attacking side we haven't had this season, and it has had a big impact on us. So it's really nice today to be able to take a couple of players off and give them a rest, and to bring on such top level players. I think gave everyone a confidence boost before the game.
Okay, thanks everybody.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Nice to see you all. Cheers.